Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Treehouse Conversations. I almost said Treehouse Confessions. That's another spin-off show we'll get to another time. I do know the name of my new show. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight live, or if you're tuning in on YouTube after, welcome to the show. Tell you just a little bit about what I'm trying to do. This is going to be an open-ended conversational show where I bring on a really cool person to talk about what they're interested in. Simple as that. And so a little bit of just some behind-the-scenes stuff before we get started. You'll notice down below on the bottom of the screen we have a website. I'm still building out that website. For right now, it'll bounce you over to Facebook, but that's a good thing. Give a like on Facebook. I'll put all of the show topics up there, schedule the shows as they're going to air. If you can join us live on Twitch, that's great. It's on this channel right here. You should know that because you're here. Yeah. A little note about chat. Hello, people in the chat. I do want this to be a conversational interview style show, though. So my focus is going to be on my guest and the conversation with them, but we'll take occasional chat checks. We'll take a break. We'll see if you have questions there in the chat. So if you have a question that you'd like me to pose to our guest, go ahead and put it in there. I just may not get to it in the next 3 seconds, but I'll get to it in a couple of minutes, I promise. Also, because this is the premiere show, if you see anything that ain't working, tell me, please. Audio-wise, video-wise, images. If you can't see it, tell me, and I'll make sure you can. If you can't hear it, make sure you tell me, and I'll make sure you can. Yeah. Comments, critiques, put them in the chat. Put them down in the comments on YouTube. We'd love to hear your input. Also, if you yourself would like to be a guest on the show, or if you know somebody who you think would be a great guest on the show, have them send me an email, guests@treehouseconversations.com. And why is the show called that? Because we are broadcasting from the Treehouse studio in upstate New York. That's where we get the name from. All right. With that, I'm going to introduce our guest for this evening. We have with us somebody I've known for just a couple of years, few years. We have the amazing Jamie Wetzel, who's the owner, the creator, and I think the head fairy seamstress is your official title at Fae Rouge, and you can correct my French pronouncer. Easy for me to say.
It's probably better than mine, honestly. I got like a D- in French class. It just sounded fancy for a name.
It's a great name. Fae Rouge Intimates, which is a lingerie and underwear company with. She'll tell you all about it, but a really cool social justice slant to your concept of the business. So I want to talk tonight about how your background, how one starts a business, handcrafting something that 99.99% of us go to, well, I'll show my age and say JCPenney's to buy, or today Amazon, but it's not something we generally think about home crafting. So I'm interested in getting into that. And then just how you view your customer base and who your customers are. And then whatever other tangents we get onto is cool too. So Jamie, welcome.
Hi.
Great to see you.
Yeah, we haven't been sitting here for a half hour troubleshooting.
No, not at all. There's never any pre-show to do. It's always just turn the computer on and you're streaming.
But Zoom behaved perfectly. It was yep.
Zoom did pretty good, except try to take over my microphone levels. Don't take over my microphone levels. Don't take over a tech director's control board. They get really pissy. Oh yeah, I'll make another note about that. We are listed under the mature content on Twitch, so we do not have any language restrictions on this show. If you have younger sensitive ears, you might want to cover them up. Put earmuffs on, as Dan Savage says on his show. And we may get into some mildly adult themes of human sexuality, gender expression, etc. tonight. But that's all things kids should learn anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, cool. So I'm looking at your bio here. You started this business in 2014, but take me back a little further. What was your life path to become the owner of this company?
So I always wanted to be in fashion design from like 4th grade onward. Like I saw a magazine and was like, no, I want to do that. That's a job. Cool. I want to make pretty dresses forever. And then I went to college for fashion design, which like kept that course. And
that was LaSalle in Quebec? Am I remembering?
No, in Massachusetts. LaSalle.
Okay. LaSalle.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different school.
Yeah, and the one you're thinking of is in Pennsylvania, and I know that because people ask me about it all the time.
What's the name of the school in Quebec that has a similar name?
It's probably similar with like multiple L's and E's.
Anyway, okay, so you want to make pretty dresses.
Yep, and that's like little fourth grade Jamie.
Okay. So you're there in math class drawing sketches for dresses.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
Yeah,
drawing
no,
rocket ships. Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I was drawing pretty dresses, and my teachers are like, "Wow, you're good at that." But you skipped the second page of your test, so good job.
But there's a beautiful illustration on the back of it for the runway.
Yeah, exactly. And then I went to college for fashion design, and I graduated in 2013.
Okay.
And my senior runway show, I did a drag show, which hadn't been done before for the school at all, because people are wusses, I guess.
Well, and that's 2013.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like RuPaul's Drag Race had just come out like a couple of years before or something, if not that year. I'm not actually sure. I've never watched it, funny enough.
I have not either. It's very popular in our house, but I have not sat down to watch it.
So I'm already starting off pretty strong with like the gender non-conforming.
Yes.
And didn't quite make it to where I am until relatively recently with the pandemic starting, which is still really weird. Like, I've been making weird underwear since 2014 because I moved in with my then fiance, and I had like a very tiny space, and I'm like, well, I can't make pretty dresses here because there's not enough space for all the pretty dresses I want to make.
Sure.
So I'll make underwear because that's fanciful enough, and it will.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And that will help I need to make something itch.
Specialized by space limitations. I love that.
Yeah, no, I am a strong believer in the do what you can with what you have where you are.
Absolutely. But now you have a studio space and you are in Boston?
Yes. Technically Lowell, I say Boston because people in Texas don't know the difference between Lowell and Boston, and I'm on Etsy, so I ship globally.
Right.
And it's a whole lot easier to say Boston.
Yeah, I have to be careful. If I say New York, people get a totally different idea. Like, no, we have trees up here, lots of them. They're not just in a rectangle in the middle of the city. But you have a studio space, so you have a place to create. You have I've seen pictures, nice big open warehouse style, sort of probably 19th century building. Cool.
Western Ave, it's a 19th century mill building, repurposed.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they used to make wool there, but I'm not totally sure.
That would make sense.
It's a really cool art building if they are open again to the public and you are in Lowell.
Is it some open studio spaces?
Before the pandemic, we would do open studios. Now there's been like open air markets, which haven't really been my speed, because open studios, I could be like, look, I'm making weird stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting stuff done while you're wandering through. Great.
Yeah, but I don't really have like a bunch of things that I can just lay out for sale.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I do everything made to order because it's more sustainable that way. I'm a big believer in slow fashion.
Okay. That was one of my questions about the work that you do. It seems so, all right. I'm a guy, I go on Amazon, I buy my flat gray boxer briefs. They come in, this size range. But the more intricate work that you're doing must be fairly custom sized. How does that process work? And how much leeway do you have?
So the way I run things is I will buy like a couple of yards of a certain fabric that I like. And I have patterns that I use with pretty much all of the prints, unless there's like a custom order, which is its own ballpark entirely. And someone will put in an order and they'll be like, hey, I want that Skeletor print, except I want it in size medium. And I want a panty bralette set and boxer briefs. So I'll go and I will cut all of those out from the patterns, and then I'll make it. And pretty much everything ships in 2 to 3 weeks, unless like I've had a really bad mental health spell or something. And I'm just like, hey, what's up? It's going to ship a day late because I needed to nap. Well,
and you're not exactly passing it off to your team.
Yeah, no, it's just me. Like I joke that I have multiple fairies in a trench coat, but it's just me.
Well, the fairies are there, but they're small. They don't really get a lot of work done.
Yeah, they're the ones that are distracting me and saying, "Go on Facebook."
Unspooling thread, throwing spools across the floor.
Oh, yeah. That's where that. Okay, yep.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned global, which I want to get into a bit. This idea of let's say just 20 years ago, you wanted to start a business, you would be looking at your market being 100 miles, maybe, if that. Who can drive to me and come see my wares in the shop window? But you're looking at a global market. How is that and the internet in general and social media opened up a world? Is it now easier to start a small business?
It's definitely easier, but there's like a lot more know-how involved in like the nitty-gritty details of Etsy. Excuse me.
Etsy is your primary selling space.
Yes. For like really custom stuff, sometimes I'll work with someone for like, if you want to do PayPal or Venmo or whatever. But like Etsy is just a really good platform for me because it helps with the ADHD executive dysfunction. Time isn't really real anymore thing.
Okay.
Because it gives me a countdown. So like 3 weeks out, my numbers are green for when something's due. A week out, it's orange. Anything beyond 5 days, it starts getting redder and redder and redder. And I just go, oh no, I don't want it to get dark red. That's bad. Right. And I finish it.
So it's providing, I've done a little bit of work on Etsy. I don't have my own store. I've set some up for other folks and done their product photography. And it does seem like it handles 99% of that back office work for you that you used to have to do with a leisure book and keeping yourself on schedule. That's great.
Oh yeah. Like it syncs with QuickBooks and it makes things real simple.
Cool. How about social media? I know you're on there a lot. You're leveraging it to gain popularity for your designs. Bonuses, drawbacks.
Bonuses are that like you can get a following if you know what you're doing, or if you're lucky, very easily. Drawbacks are you have to maintain like posting things to keep getting like if I want to keep getting orders, I have to actually keep posting things for people to order them. So like if I'm having a rough week and I don't post anything, that means that my income is a little bit lower the following week or whatever. And you can see that, you can track that and analyze it in real time. Yes, it is like a discernible data point. Like the less I post, the fewer orders I get. The more I post, the more orders I get.
It's a very nagging back office manager.
Yes, if I would not mind if I could have someone to do my social media, honestly, but it also involves a lot of like right now TikTok is the platform that's done me the best.
Oh yeah, I'm all over that. Yeah, everybody.
Okay. So TikTok, you get like sound bites and you can sync videos to it and it like automatically syncs the clips that you upload.
And very short.
So I did one. Yes, I did one a while ago that was to the YMCA song, but at the end, instead of saying young man, it says Mothman. And it's a Mothman printed fabric, and people went fucking nuts for it.
I love that. You get to have another creative outlet and mix it with the more industrial, actually production work that you're doing. You have a musical and a creative side there as well.
Yes, it doesn't come as naturally to me as just being I'm going to make something weird today, because video is not my like default format. In like D&D terms, I have a very high craft skill, period.
Roll to 12.
Tech. If there's a tech though.
Okay. All right. But it's easier now. I mean, you can do 90% of it on a cell phone.
Yeah. I do almost everything on my cell phone. It's at the point where I bought a new one and I'm like, no, this is going on the company card at this point, because
it should. Yeah.
Half of my photos are underwear at this point. More than half of my video is just like little clips of me sewing or whatever.
That's so. You've been able to steadily build that audience online, and you say that you do see it transition into real sales, into dollars coming in.
Yeah. Like after I first went viral on TikTok, I was just sitting there like, oh God, I only have a yard of this fabric because I bought it for Valentine's Day with a bunch of other ones. And I wasn't expecting anyone to want this much Mothman. And then I had to buy 5 more yards, and I'm through the first 3 now already.
Always need more Mothman. That's
Apparently that's my thing now. I just make Mothman underwear, which like, if you asked me a year and a half ago where I thought I'd be in a year, making Mothman underwear for TikTok is not the answer I would have given.
I don't know if TikTok existed.
It did.
Yeah,
it was relatively new.
Okay. You've mentioned your fabrics a couple times, and I want to look at. We have some examples of your work, which I will model in a minute. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to put the pictures up. Not that I couldn't, and we'll talk about that as well.
You could.
I want to do a quick check-in on the chat because we do have some folks with us live tonight. Kraus Mouse says hi. And let's see if I can get all the O's. These are so cute. I think I got that about right. And she's feeling a mighty need for some of the geeky underpants, which I agree with. You should look into that. I have also posted all of your links and social in the chat. So if you're here with us live, you can click right out. Go ahead and check out the stuff that's online. And of course she's getting the Fox ones. It's just, yeah.
Oh, I have an Etsy notification. I wonder what that could be.
I wonder who that is.
But which Fox?
We also we have somebody. Let's see, Bladed Pencil Bonnie giving their real name, saying hi.
Hi, Bonnie.
To you. I didn't mention that at the beginning. Jamie can't see the chat, so I'm relaying.
We're just on Zoom.
Good. Okay, a chat check-in. Let's look at some of your stuff. We've talked about it, and I want you to tell me a little bit about where you're getting these fabrics from, because they're not, I mean, I don't know. I haven't been into a Joann Fabrics in a few years since I made a bunch of backdrops and stuff, but I assume you have some super secret special sources that you may or may not want to discuss. So let me pop down to my pictures here. I pulled these up because these might be on my purchase list at some point. How cool are these? I mean, it looks like, with some added color, it looks like the Hubble Deep Field view, which is all the galaxies.
Which, like, who doesn't want their junk to be covered in space? Like, what's in your pants? The universe.
Stardust.
Right? There's so many good pickup lines.
So these are cool.
Also, like, I believe in the power of really good underwear to give you that, like, moral boost. Not moral. Charisma, maybe? Like, when you're wearing, like, ratty underwear, you're like, oh, man, I'm wearing ratty underwear. I don't really feel good or anything. And then you have good underwear on. And you're walking along, and I'm like, yeah, I look hot under this outfit.
It's a confidence booster. It is. And,
yes, that's the word, confidence.
Yeah, and these look like, in addition to confidence, they're going to give you a little bit of good support, too. You know, so
yes.
Personally, I was enticed by my wife to switch from the baggy, bunchy, horrible boxers to fitted boxer briefs just a few years ago, and it has changed my junk's life. I'll tell you, I love them. So I like these space pants. As Handsome Devlin says, space pants. You missed a joke there. You should say space panties. But okay, all right, fine.
No, they're space pants too. That's a Peter Dinklage thing, I think.
It is, yes. If you have not watched the Space Pants SNL skit, you should. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty solid.
You could have the whole outfit. You could have these underneath your space pants. Now, this looks like we're on a male-bodied mannequin.
Yes.
But I assume you could do this for anybody.
They're pretty much gender neutral. So I don't do flies unless there's like a specific request for them. So it's just like the front flat panel.
You know what? 99% of the time they misfire anyway, and you don't. It's just
easier not to. Like, it's so much extra work to make one, and like I will do a packer pocket or a fly if someone specifically requests one.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's not something I do by default. And like for packer pockets, I will do them for $3 extra, which is the same price I do for gaff add-ons, which are basically. It means I cut the pattern a little bit differently for trans women so that they can wear the same exact underwear that cis women do. And they have the same access to the full range of prints and whatever they want.
So we've thrown out some terms. Let's make sure we catch everybody up. Okay. So a packer is for somebody who is traditionally female body but wants to present as male body.
Yes, and that's usually just like most of the ones I have seen are just usually crocheted, and it's like a little crocheted dick that you wear in your pants. Yep.
Again, it might sound like that's for some type of a visual. It may be a little bit for presentation, but it's also that confidence thing. It's feeling like you're in that right body. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. And then you mentioned gaff, which I know it to be a sail rig, but you're going to tell me something different. I have that in the jump.
A gaff underwear is a type of underwear that is made for trans women that like compresses outies basically, so that it looks a little bit nice, more flat, more seamless. it's less obvious. It's more of a gender confirming style.
Right. Again, so a little bit for that social presentation, but then also just for that internal self-presentation.
Exactly, yeah. And the ones I've designed I've been told some of the more comfortable ones on the market, according to my people who tested the patterns for me.
Okay.
Since up until I started making them, I couldn't find a whole lot of tutorials on how to make them. So
I don't think it's something that's been, I mean, I'm sure folks have been making their own for centuries.
Yeah,
but
the one I found suggested using swimwear fabric and polar fleece.
Which sounds warm.
It sounds warm and sweaty, and like it would be great for performance if that's all you need it for. But a lot of people want to wear these things all day, and that's what I designed basically. So it's got basically behind that panel with like the boning skeletons.
Yes,
on the front.
I'm zooming in nicely here. So I don't want to move that, but I'm zooming in.
Yeah, it's
so
Kama Sutra skeletons in rainbow because
that's fantastic.
I'm unable to resist a lot of that. I have enough of that for boxer briefs too. I just haven't had a chance to make them yet.
Oh, I might need some Halloween decor. We might have to talk.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk. But behind that cotton panel is a power neck panel that I've designed to fit so it comfortably pulls.
Okay.
And it just kind of flattens the silhouette nice and comfortably and makes it so you can wear them for a whole lot longer than a traditional one.
And this is serving a purpose like a binder would serve on the top of a trans man. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Tell me a bit about your fabrics. You've mentioned some of those that went into that, and we know we've been told natural fibers are better for things that are up against your skin for long periods of time. But then you're not getting a lot of stretch and mobility out of those fabrics. So how are you integrating different material sciences into what you're making, and how does that affect fit?
Most of what I use, and I'm transitioning towards moving towards entirely, is cotton lycra, which has like a 95% cotton, 5% elastane mix, I think.
Cool. Okay.
So it's like super comfortable, super stretchy, super breathable. And then I use like just whatever lace I can find on the sides usually. Like it is surprisingly hard to find a consistent source for lace for something that's black.
Interesting. So you've got something that's mostly a natural fiber for comfort, for health and safety, and for.
And I've got the lace on the sides because, like,
lace.
I don't know about you, but like I really like underwear with lace on it because it feels a little bit more grown up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And like when you were a kid, you had lots of options of weird underwear with like Barbie and Buzz Lightyear and stuff on it. And then you grew up and you don't have those prints anymore. But you also don't want to wear those prints. You want something a little bit more grown up. So there's lace.
Okay, now I'm feeling attacked for my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle boxers, but I'll let it slide.
If I could find a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle print, I would make them.
They are wonderful. I do like those. That's what I wear. Those are like your lucky boxers. You've got to have the special pair set aside for important occasions.
I had a girl in France recently commission me to remake her favorite pair of underwear for her lucky underwear. And she picked out like a fabric on Spoonflower. We talked about like print and cut and everything. And I made her new lucky underwear and sent them out. And it was great. Like,
That's
man, I feel so lucky to be trusted to make lucky underwear.
Yeah, geez, that's like rebuilding somebody's teddy bear or something.
There is someone on TikTok that does that.
Nice. Let me see.
On that note.
Let's see what else I have here for pictures. You mentioned Skeletor and some branded stuff before. Here we have. Here's Skeletor. Yay! I found her.
So I work with a bunch of like different custom fabric vendors who release things in batches, and like there's schedules that you can actually order the stuff that it's available for, and like I have a very convoluted spreadsheet for everything, for where I can order it from, when I can order it from, and I have to check back on like certain days to make sure I can get it and all that. So most of my fabric sources are secret, but I will tell people if something's from Spoonflower so I can support that other artist that designed the print.
Okay. That's somebody making, are these are going to be screen printed for the most part?
I actually don't know how they print it, but it's not screen printed. Like it stretches really nicely. Like
Okay.
it is wizardry as far as I can tell. The other thing with a lot of the custom fabric vendors I work with is that there is a like 6 to 12 week turnaround time. Oh, hey, you're really zoomed in. What's up?
I was zoomed into Skeletor.
Oh, okay.
So there is you're looking a couple of weeks ahead with what you're going to get, what you're going to be able to put out.
More than a couple of months sometimes. Yeah. So like I have a Soup for My Family print that I designed, or that I had a friend design for me, which I was like, hey, you know that meme for the Soup for My Family with Trump saying, oh, these anti-fascists will have soup and they'll keep it in their pocket and be like, oh, it's soup for my family, and then they'll throw it at cops.
I do. You don't have the bandolier? You haven't been issued that yet?
I totally have my soup bandolier.
Yeah, you should get your Soros bandolier should be coming in the mail for the standard Campbell's condensed size.
Yep. But so I talked to a friend and I'm like, hey, I'm not as good with graphics, but you are. Could you design me a print that is Campbell's cans that say throwing soup? And it's a Andy Warhol style print.
Yes.
And it's got gritty in the center.
He would love that. He would totally be on board for that.
Oh yeah, it is. But like, so that one was a custom print. And then the first round I got was way too big because it's the first time I've had something custom printed for myself.
Okay.
So I talked to friends and was like, hey, who wants leggings or a crop top or something?
Right. Sure, there's a scale. You're going to be cutting this pattern and it needs to fit into that geometry.
Yeah, so normally I need an image that's like 4 inches tall at most.
Okay.
Because anything bigger than that on like the average pair of underwear is going to be a little bit too blown out. Right.
You're like, okay, we're making capes today.
Basically, yeah. But the first round that I got was 18 inches tall, and I'm like, I can't make underwear out of this at all. I can make a throw pillow.
Yeah, I would just cover a wall with it. Make a tapestry out of it.
I debated it.
All right, let me see what else I pulled for pictures. So we've talked a lot about your more classic underwear designs, but you're working on things that are outside of that, more in the fancy lingerie category, or...
Yeah, so I take a limited number of custom orders. These are actually not a custom order. These are just a thing I make. They are lingerie suspenders, so they're very gender fucky.
Mm-hmm.
If you zoom in at the back there's lace at the back. There's lace on the shoulders that you can't quite see as well. And it's like one of those like, wait a second, that's lingerie elastic and lace. And you can wear it with like a shirt if you want to. And dudes can wear it. And like, it's one of those, it's just like a little extra element of, wait a second.
Sure. But from back here, you might think it's rope.
You might.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right. And this I pulled these right off your Etsy site. So they're there and available. Cool.
Yep, and I've got those in red and black too.
Nice.
And rainbow, I think. I think I still have rainbow left.
Cool. Let's see what else we have for. Now your photography on the site too is really good.
I've worked with a couple of different photographers. This was Fae Valentini, I think. Mm-hmm. I can send you links if you want to put them with the YouTube link.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Yeah.
I love the color matching with the hair and with the backlighting that's happening to match the piece.
That's all her, like model and photographer. I sent her the sets and was like, here's some money, please do something cool with it.
Yeah, that's really well done. And I also love this outdoor set that you had done.
That one was OJ Slaughter a couple of years ago.
Cool. Yeah, also great colors, but in this case, not to complement the piece, but to contrast the model.
Yeah, we took out like a bunch of underwear that I'd made, and we went to some park in Jamaica Plains, Massachusetts, and it's like near Boston, so it's like a pretty urban area. And we had like a sheet that people would change behind. It was great.
Yeah, that's outdoor photo. Either the pop-up tent style thing or just, hold up.
Yeah.
And it's really to protect the public because I tell you, most models and professionals couldn't care less where they're changing. But
but if there's like a small child wandering by, Mommy, why is that person naked?
Because it's warm out.
Art, child, they're doing art.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's look at a few more pictures, and then I want to get into I won't say the word politics, but I want to talk about about who you're making stuff for. I don't think I've shown this one yet. Here's another branded product. Yes.
That one is Joann's, and I will tell you that because you can find that one pretty easily in a cotton print too for a woven that's not an underwear style.
That's cool, and it's like a stained glass. That is really cool.
Yeah, I love that one.
And we might have one more. That's not a property I recognize, just an anglerfish.
No, that's just a I really like lanternfish, and I thought it was the expression on the little fish in the center's face was hilarious.
I'm gonna
He's just like, oh no, yeah. I'm gonna be eaten.
I'm gonna call it Goth Finding Nemo and just stick with that. That's
there we go. That's a good way of putting it.
So we've touched a little bit on who your customer base is, who you're making these things for, but tell me more about that, your philosophy on who your customer base, who you would like them to be, and the niche that you're looking to fill that isn't being taken care of.
I just want people to be comfy. Like, I want everyone to have an option for underwear that feels like something that feels true to their personality and their selves and is comfortable for them to wear. That's it. That's all I want. And like, I have a couple of clients who've converted basically to only things I make at this point. They're like, no, I won't wear the Victoria's Secret anymore. Yours is better.
That's a good compliment.
That's a nice ego boost.
And price wise, probably not that far out of competition with them. I mean, I would think their stuff is not cheap.
Some of their cotton stuff's a little bit cheaper, but
sure.
Like, that there's also the ethos when you get into the politics of it, because like Victoria's Secret in 2020, I believe, was sued by the Garment Workers Union in China, something along those lines. And the union, or the people who were suing them, won, because basically Victoria's Secret went, oh, well, we can't sell these things anymore because we don't have access to malls to sell our things in, so we're not paying you. So they weren't paying their production labor at all for anything that was made in 2020.
Really? Okay, that's great. Yeah, well, the garment industry, always known for taking care of their workers.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things that I'm big on. Like, at least I know what I'm doing, and like I can take care of myself. And like, some of my sources for fabric are like, there's one that is a BIPOC veteran who runs it. And like, I try and buy from smaller businesses so I continue to support other people rather than like the mainstream and like
Bezos
adding to the waste. Yeah, exactly.
So, and you're taking that, I mean, obviously you know where your labor is coming from. It's not coming from a sweatshop in Indonesia. You're doing it. Although, not to say we shouldn't have factories and production happening overseas. We just need to take care of those people and pay them properly and make sure they're safe conditions. Giving opportunity is okay. Exploiting is not.
I would be happy to work with like a garment factory at some point later in life, but I would want to guarantee that it is fair labor, fair trade. Everyone's being paid a fair wage and they can live on it.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're taking it even so far as to look at sourcing of your material and making sure that's coming from.
I'm doing my best on that. Like, I am human. I mean, I say I'm fairies in a trench coat, but I am human.
Well, look, I'm surrounded by computer and camera equipment made in Taiwan, and who knows who put it together. We do what we can do. And
we work with, but part of it is education too. Like, talking to you and telling you about it. A lot of people don't consider, oh, well, the factory made this underwear, but where did the fabric come from? Like, no one ever thinks about that.
Right. And
the number of people who've said to me, like, oh, you just make underwear? That's a thing you can make?
Well, that's what my head did when you first started doing this. Was I've never thought of that as something I can. I mean, a shirt, a pair of pants, I can understand. It's basic geometry. It's some squares and rectangles and maybe a curve here and there. But what you're working on is intricate geometry and the fit. Your tolerances are small in what you're making. You know, if you're off by an inch symmetrically, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, I usually run into a few issues when I launch new patterns. Like when I launched the bralettes, there was a couple of people who were like, "Hey, it's really low cut. Like I got some double boob going on," and then I fixed the patterns and I sent them out new ones because like if I fuck up, I want to make sure that somebody still gets what they ordered and they're happy with it. Like,
of course. Well, and that's the benefit of buying from an owner-operated company, is they can actually communicate with you and get what they need.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Patterns, that's an interesting question. How are you hand designing patterns? Or are you using software? What's the process?
I hand design my patterns, I want to say 2017. It might have been 2018. I'm not really sure. Everything before 2020 is kind of blurry.
That's the before times. Yeah.
The before times. I designed them in the before times. And I just drafted my own. I scaled them up, and then I listened to feedback from people. I know that up until XL, they've run a little bit big. Mm-hmm. And then after that, they're true to size.
So to most of us humans, we run a little big. So that's kind of
like,
the good way to err.
I haven't had quite a chance to fix them up yet. But like every once in a while, someone orders something without reading about it. Yeah. And then they go, oh no. And I go, it's okay. I got you, boo. And I send them a new one. Yeah. Like, it's not the end of the world.
All right. Have you thought about software and maybe a laser cutter and getting into some cool pattern creation
I've debated it. Patterning software in particular is really expensive.
Yeah.
Like really expensive. The one from college that I'm familiar how to use is around 10 grand. Mm-hmm. And I'm not at that level quite yet.
Sure. Yeah. If you can do it by hand, do it by hand. I'm picturing what we can do with laser cutting software and things. Now you could take that flat surface and before you even print one, put it onto a 3D shape and actually see how it's going to lay and how the seams are going to come together.
Yeah, I tend to prefer to do things by hand just because I'm a very visual person. And if I'm looking at it in the computer, I just surprisingly, math is not my strong point. I'm great at geometry and visual math.
Yeah, me too.
Math. Like if I try and make a pattern directly from numbers, something always looks wonky. And I have to be like, nope, I'm just going to make it off of what I know. And I will be like, cool, I'm making a pair of shorts for a pattern. I'm going to take off my pants and draft it based on that because I know those fit me and how they fit me.
I agree with that. Sometimes you just got to start cutting and putting the pieces together and take an inch off here. Just make it fit.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's fine. It's just making flat. What is it? All building is just making flat surfaces smaller and sticking them together in different ways. Yeah. Fabric, plywood, steel, doesn't matter. You're just taking a flat piece and turning it into shapes.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know plywood quite as well, but when you say that, it makes more sense.
It's the same thing. I have just added a sewing machine to my shop, so I'm going to learn how to use it. I'm interested in getting into that. Yeah. I have a sail making machine, but that's.
Those are.
Yeah, but now we've got a real.
They're extremely durable chunk.
Exactly. Makes exactly that sound at about that speed.
Yep.
But I did just get a real one into the shop, so I'm gonna try my hand at some fabric flat surfaces getting put together.
Okay.
I just can't bring out the nail gun. It's not the same. Yeah.
No, you don't want to. I do know people for tailoring who will staple their stuff when it's on a person, and they'll be like, oh, well, I need to shape it, so I'm just going to staple it. And I'm like, wow, that's so smart. So long as you don't get any of what's underneath, you're fine.
Sure. Yeah. And you'll hear about it if you do.
Yeah. You'll know if you get it.
And we touched a little bit about, gender non-conforming folks being your clients and gender expression being really important, whether that's male, female, none, in between, whatever.
Everyone to be comfortable in underwear. Everyone deserves to be able to look in a mirror and go, damn, I look hot. But you don't care about your size, your gender. If you want if you want a weird tentacle sewn onto it, sure, let me know. I'll make it happen. I'll ask a couple of questions so I can make sure I get the right thing. But sure, if you identify as an octopus, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's fine. But beyond just feeling good and feeling sexy in underwear, you're giving people a product that can help to actually confirm their gender expression.
Yes.
And you're talking about high-level mental health stuff there. That's not just looking good.
Yeah, and I think that's super important. And I try and do it affordably. I know that my range is not the most affordable if you're used to buying $5 a pair of underwear at Walmart or Target.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. But like, if you think about it, it's handmade. You know that I ship in biodegradable materials with printed with algae ink. So like, there's minimal waste there. It's as sustainable as I can make it for a business practice. I haven't figured out how to get a stretched lace that's cotton yet and will biodegrade, but I've been thinking about it for several years and trying to figure that one out. It's a puzzle.
Silk, I suppose, but then your price is going to go.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a certain point of like, well, what are people willing to pay for sustainable underwear versus this is mostly sustainable?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like, you can do the best that you can, and that's still good. It's better than not trying at all, you know?
Right. A good product, well made, as humanely and sustainably as you can, and helping people live their best life.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's check the chat. Let's see where we've gone from space pants. I think all of your Fox products are gone.
I'll double check. I think I have more fabric. Message me if there's none.
Okay, I'll put you two in touch. There might need to be a custom project there. And I have some competition for which one was it? Boning Skeletons boxer briefs. I have purchasing competition there, so I'll have to work that out.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a couple extra yards of that. I can definitely put those in the world.
Cool. Let's see. Like, we've gone through our pictures. That was a great chat. Thank you so much for coming on tonight to kick off this new project. We've got a few minutes left. If anyone has questions in the chat, please put them in there. And Nightmare Jack and Sally, the stained glass are really cool. I like those. I'm going to post all of your links and social links in the chat again. And these, of course, will be in the video description when we go up on YouTube. So just look down below. You'll find them there. Let's post these here. And I'm also going to post our show links and socials. Again, I'm still working on getting that website together, but if you click there, it'll just kick you over to Facebook for the moment. Give us a like over there. Make sure you know when the shows are coming out, what the topics are going to be. There's a Facebook. Excellent. And let's just we'll give a second, see if any questions come up. Going to try to do this show once a week, so if you'd like to be a guest, shoot me a message on anyone. I don't know, throw a carrier pigeon out the window, it'll get to me. Send me a message on Twitch. Do give a follow on Twitch so you can keep track of what's going on. Also over on Facebook and on YouTube when we post this show. It'll take about 2 days or so to get past the Twitch blackout on that, be able to repost it on YouTube. So if you missed tonight, if you're just coming in now, you can pop over to YouTube in about 48 hours and check out the whole show. If you want to be a guest, again, shoot me a message on any one of those platforms, and we'll see how far we can book out. I'd like to do this once a week. It's been a good time. Chance for us to get together and talk to some cool people when we're all still stuck at home for not much longer. Won't be much longer.
I'm counting down the days until I can get my first vaccine. I will fight someone for it at this point.
I have just had my second. I spent a few days feeling pretty ill from that, but totally worth it. Just you're dealing with like it's like the first day of a cold when you feel like you go to bed.
I don't
early,
even care. They could tell me I grew a third arm, and I'd be like, sweet, I'll take advantage of that.
I was like, we have to take a finger. Which one? I don't care.
Yeah.
Jamie, before we let you go, we've talked a lot about your work life, which I know, also being a sole proprietor of my own photography and media business, it is your life, it is your passion. But something else that you are passionate about right now, I don't care, a book, a TV show, a film, a project that you're working on, something unrelated to work life.
I am so goddamn excited to get back to LARPing.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to go in the woods and I want to hit my friends with sticks. I crave violence.
This is live action role playing for anybody not on the. She's not just randomly hitting her friends in the woods this time.
Not without consent. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes, cool. Do you have any stuff planned for this season? I know people are starting to put their schedules together. So.
There's something that I might NPC, non-playable character, so run around and like hit people as a monster in the fall.
Okay.
But the games I play probably won't start up until next year since they run on a seasonal cycle.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
gotta just wait for that. We know it's going to happen before planning it, because there's a lot of planning. It's like running any other big event or like a family reunion. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of logistics that go in it. Plus just writing it.
It's a 75-player game that I play.
Wow.
And we have, I think, 25-ish staff, and there's a couple of core staff, and I don't know how they manage to consistently put out the quality that they do, but it's always good.
Cool. In the chat, Kraus Mouse is telling you she just finished 30 hours, a whole virtual weekend of LARPing online, and it was good, but it's not the same.
Yeah, no, I can't do the virtual quite as well. Like chats like this, one-on-one, I'm fine. If we have 3 people in a video chat, my energy just plummets.
And it's all, it's scattered. It's all over the place. It's hard to
it's like the awkward, like, oh no, is that a video pause? Did the video die? Oh, is that just me being awkward?
For costuming, all you need is a pair of your underwear on the bottom. You don't need pants. So it's, there's benefits to it.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I debated running an ad thing that I never quite got around to, which was like just people in business shirts on, like, clearly with the headset on, clearly at work with my underwear on the bottom going, Le Fae Rouge, dressed for work, or something like that.
You should have. You still have time. If you got that out.
I do. It's just a matter of like getting the photos and getting the promotion together. And at this point, like, people are starting to come out of things. The offices are starting to open.
I don't have your product on, but I am wearing my board shorts underneath the shirt with the colors, so. No pants.
I forgive you. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's getting nice out. There's no need for I'm kind of opposed to pants in general. I'm not a big fan.
I don't blame you. Like, I wear them because they have pockets, and that's about it.
Pants and shoes, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, overrated.
I did not wear shoes at my wedding.
I believe you.
Yeah. I had flip-flops on because there were rocks and stuff, but not shoes. That doesn't count as shoes. Cool. Well, I think we'll wrap it there for the night. Thank you very much for joining us, Jamie. We've got all of your links down below. Go check them out. And if anybody has any particular questions, I'm sure they can shoot you a message as well. Talk about custom work.
Etsy's usually the best way to reach me.
Etsy? Okay.
Just message me through there, and I usually get those messages. Sometimes if it's a weird question, I will wait until the next day I'm actually at the studio to answer it. But you usually get a response within 2 days, unless you ask me on Friday afternoon. And even then, I'll probably be like, "Hey, I'm not at the studio. Can't help you. Sorry."
You get an automatic reply that says "Out LARPing back Monday."
You will if I get there. as soon as I can, I will be going out and I will be pretending to be a pirate in the woods, and I will stab things, and it will be great, but it will be pretend stabbing.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and thank you everybody who joined us for our first show. Jamie, hang out with me for just a second after we end the stream here. Yep. We're gonna cut the stream. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you here on Treehouse Conversations next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's GMT less 4, I think, right now with the time change thing they do to screw up our brains. If you're overseas, you know it. New York time. See you then.